Hello, everyone. It is me again. Bit of a different setting for this one because I thought we should maybe change things up a little bit for this video. Um, this is going to be more of a kind of podcasty type kind of setting because I am going to take on a kind of form of a challenge, if you will, to myself. First and foremost, I do want to say, because you will have seen the title of this video, I did not come up with this idea. This idea came up with was from Riley Real. I watch a lot of her content. I think she's great, actually. To be honest, I think she's a really good content creator. She started this on, I believe, her Instagram. Was when she had started it, and she even made a whole channel of like notes of it as well. She made even a whole like kind of podcast on it, and that's going to be something that quite similarly that we're going to do here. But of course, I don't want to be stealing the idea as such, so I do want to give all the credit that I can to Riley Rule. She's a great creator, and if you guys are able to, if you guys are interested in like fitness challenges and fitness goals and stuff, she does some good content on that. So I would definitely recommend her going forward. This one here, however, is just going to be about talking about the phases of what I also want to do in my life, and maybe talk about how I'm going to get there, or how I'm going to try and get there at least. Um, Throughout the course of this video. So, I mean, I guess we'll just jump right into it. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I'm just going to talk in my phases here. Sometimes I might get sidetracked, sometimes I might not, and we'll just see how it goes. Phase number one for me, I think, is kind of the rest of this year. So the rest of the year of 2026 is the year that I'm recording this in, in case anyone's watching this way in the future. I'm recording this in August 2026, and I think we just need to finish out the year on a real positive high note. Sticking to my fitness, sticking to my diet, sticking to showing up for work every single day. Sticking to showing up for family events, sticking to keeping my hobbies at a healthy amount. Not like drowning in my hobbies so much that I forget other important things. I believe we actually kind of talked about that previously in one of my yapping videos about kind of like about moderation. Can't believe I forgot about that there. I only recorded it like last week, I think. But kind of thinking about moderation, that's kind of where my head is at a little bit when it comes to my hobbies as well. And I want to keep that balance. I want to keep kind of pushing that as well for me. I'm looking to kind of journal a lot more. I'm looking to reflect a lot more. There's so many things that, and maybe I'm throwing all this in at once too much in phase one, and I could maybe I hit a wall at some point, and that can actually kind of ruin this entire process, entire progress as well. But I don't know. For me, I'm excited to go through phase one here, and phase one, as I say, that's just going to be to see out the rest of the year here. Everyone's favorite winter arc, right, is coming up. Everyone's favorite. That's always when it becomes, I think, more about discipline than motivation, because not a lot of people are motivated to get up during horrible weather, and if you live in Scotland like I do, it's not great. It's not great in winter. So a lot of people are just, a lot of people find about that is discipline more than motivation, and I think that's a fair conversation to have as well, and maybe we'll talk about that more as winter kind of rolls in. Right now we are still in August, so we're still in almost around kind of peak summer. I would argue it's still kind of August time. So that's obviously a long way to think about, but that's kind of what these phases are for. We're kind of thinking about months and months ahead, and that's what kind of phase one is for me. Is to get me mentally prepared, not only just physically, but I think I need to mentally prepare myself for getting up what's going to feel like the middle of the night, and we're talking like 5 6 a.m, but that's going to feel like the middle of the night in winter. It's talking about getting up at that time and being the best version of myself. Maybe that's what becoming is. Maybe that's what becoming is for me. Maybe not. I guess we'll see. That's why it's the becoming series, because I can't really pin down what I am becoming, because I've never done this before. I have never gotten to the other side of phases of a fitness goal, of a diet goal, of exercise goals. I've never gotten to the other side of that. And if you know me for a long time, I mean, you'll know you'll know that I've not gotten to the other side, right? If you've known me for a long time. So this is not going to be easy for me, and that is why phase one is all about planning, prepping, making sure that I can get prepared for what really is going to be the crutch of phase one, which will be the winter time. That's going to be all, of course, heading into the next year. where of course we are still in winter in Scotland. You know, January, February, even kind of early March time. I would argue still we are still kind of looking at winter there in Scotland. Um, so that's obviously, you know, as much as phase one will end after December, it's, you know, phase two kind of still falls in line with kind of what we're talking about there. But we're sticking on phase one right now, because phase one is about prepping that, planning that, challenging that. Phase one is essentially just going to be a whole cascade, if you will, of all or nothing almost. And I know this is going to sound quite, you know, people are going to think I'm contradicting myself here, because I'm pretty sure, you know, before in one of my yapping videos I said you can't be all or nothing. You can't be doing that. But I'm going to be trying that here, especially in phase one. You know, phase two and phase three, maybe a phase four. We'll see. We'll see. But phase two and phase three, that's where things can start kind of dialing back. That's when we can start drawing up a game plan. Phase one is about, let's see where we're at, let's see where we can get to, and let's build on wherever we can get to. That's really what phase one's going to be for me, and so that's kind of where I'm at the moment with phase one. Um, so that's obviously kind of been started already. I have been getting really into my exercise now. I'm actually going to be adding in the exercise bike. You guys will have seen it in the background of my videos before. I never use it. I just never use it. I'm going to be using that more often going forward, just to kind of get an extra little bit of exercise. And even if it's for half an hour to an hour, even 45 minutes, that's still more than 0 minutes, right? That's still more than nothing that I was doing before. After like a walking pad exercise, or you might have already seen my walk and talk series before this video. Haven't quite decided yet how I'm uploading this schedule wise, but you might have already seen it. If you haven't yet, spoiler, there's another series on the channel called Walk and Talk. If you have already seen it, I hope the feedback was decent on it enough for me to continue to do it. And yeah, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about as well as I'm speaking about it here. I yeah, I've thrown in like the exercise bike to be used, because I actually don't know how to ride a bike, and I'm happy to admit that. To be honest, I never learned when I was younger. Never have learned now. I'm happy to admit that now. To be honest, like it just doesn't embarrass me. I just never learned how to ride a bike, and so I know how to ride an e-bike, and so I've been using that. The other, you know, I also have PT as well. I don't think I'll really be showing that much as kind of recording, but yeah, I do have PT twice a week that I try and go to as best I can, you know, kind of outside my own work schedule as well, which also throws a spanner in the works for phase one as well, trying to manage that going forward. Because as much as I've never done a fitness goal or a fitness challenge or diets, and as much as I've never really done that before, I've especially never done it with a full time job. Especially never done it with a full time job. So that is also going to be a balance that I need to work on. And that's going to be interesting to kind of look at as well going forward there. I don't know how often I will upload a podcasty type like this. Um, I'm actually just kind of thinking about the schedule in my head right now. Maybe once a month is kind of like checking on my progress on it. I think could be a good idea, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. I think that's maybe how we should do it. I think actually, yeah. But again, going back to phase one here, you know, I need to see. I need to see how I can push my limits to the utmost, like top of the top. I need to see where I can go before my mind and my body says, look, we both can't do this, right? Because your mind can give up before your body, but when both of them give up, that's your limit, right? And so that's what I need to get to. I need to understand where that is, and I either need to dial it back so that I know, like, okay, this is where I should be hitting because that's going to be a real workout for me, and this is where I should be hitting in terms of outside of the gym, so to speak, right? So like, you know, like kind of my personal life, you know, because this isn't just about getting fit and getting active and looking better. This is also about how I am with other people. This is also about, you know, social interactions. This is about my mental health as well. Like there's going to be a lot going on here. There's going to be a lot going on going forward, and that's kind of what phase one's all about. It's about figuring that out. It's about drawing the game plan, right? It's about having a blank canvas, as it were. That's what phase one is, and then we're going to figure that out. What's going to be on that canvas, and that's going to be what this rest of the year is going to plan out to be. You know, we're going to figure that out. We're going to add in some routines. If we don't like them, we'll remove them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at the minute. Where there's going to be a lot of trial and error, and by the time that phase two rolls around, we then have a locked in plan. We're set. We're ready to go, And that's where phase two, as much as we can maybe dial back a little bit on phase two, really what we're doing is we're removing what didn't work in phase one, and we are focusing on what did work heading into phase two, and that's then how phase two is going to be built up. So looking at the kind of timelines here as well, so that's kind of what phase one's going to be. I'm happy with phase one. I'm happy to do that for phase one. If any of you guys even had other suggestions to what I should throw in with phase one, please let me know, because that's kind of what I've came up with. Looking at trial and error, many things. Looking to try some things out, looking to test some things. If that maybe changes my mood, my emotion, my drive, my discipline, my motivation, right? Just anything like that. If it changes it for the good, of course, I'm happy to give it a go, and I'm happy to see if that can work into a daily routine for me that is going to help me become, right. That's kind of where I'm at the minute. So looking at timelines here, so phase one is going to be, of course, the rest of the year. So that's going to end basically right on New Year. I'm hoping to hit phase two early January, earliest in January, really. 1st or 2nd of January would be ideal. I'm going to hit phase two there. And phase two is going to be, as I say, hopefully cleaning out the junk of what phase one gave us. So phase one's going to feel quite overwhelming for me, I think, because it is, and I'm prepared for that, because there is going to be so much that I'm trying, so much that isn't working, and what I need to build in my head as well is that just because this didn't work, that doesn't mean that phase one has been a disaster, right? This just didn't work, so that goes over there, right? That goes over there. That this didn't work, that goes over there. Then we focus on what is working. That goes here, and that stays in phase one. And we continue to build on that. And even if we're a couple of months down the line, say even we hit December and something is it's just not clicking right, it's just not making me feel right, that I've been working on daily, I think we still remove it. I think we still look to remove that. We place it on the side for a little bit, we sideline it, we bench it, right? And we see, does things start to change for the better heading into the end of December? And then when we hit phase two, it's like, well, I changed positively at the start of December there by taking this thing out. Just, I don't know, let's say for talking sake, let's say I wanted to add a whole lot more hot sauce to my diet. I don't know, right? Just for talking sake, let's say it was hot sauce, and I get to December and I'm thinking, this hot sauce isn't really doing it for me. There's something missing from this. There's something I'm not enjoying from this. So then I take it out of my diet all of December. So all of December I'm going through maybe like kind of more red sauce, of course, because that's got a lot less sugar in it. Maybe even more brown sauce, because even though that's more vinegary, it's still lower in calories as well. So maybe I just go for those sauces instead going forward with some meals. And if I feel more positively about having red sauce or having hot sauce out of my diet, I just kind of keep that for phase two. And that's just an example, right? I actually love hot sauce. Actually, just for the record, I love hot sauce, and it is also great for like calories and for flavour as well. So hot sauce is actually going to be something I would include in my diet a lot more. But that was just a for instance. Like that was just an example of kind of where my head is going to be at for that, and that's why I need to prepare my mind. I need to prepare myself mentally for thinking, just because one thing didn't work, 2 things didn't work, 3 things didn't work, that I'm trying to complete in phase one. That's not a disaster. That is trial and error. That is us showing that there are many things right now that are not working here, that therefore we can eliminate for phase two. That's where my thought process is with this. Now let's have a little chat about phase two then. So phase two, for many of you that know, many of you that maybe don't know, I talk about my fiance sometimes on the channel. And believe it or not, we are going to get married at some point. That some point is going to be in 2027, July 2027 to be exact. So I'm assuming you've guessed already. Phase two is the wedding plan. Phase two is from January to July. We lock in. We get into the shape that I want to be in for my wedding pictures, for my wife, my future wife. That's what phase two is going to be, and that's why we need to spend phase one building up a tolerance to what is working, and then building up the confidence maybe to say this isn't working and we have to stop trying it. Because I imagine a lot of you watching this are quite like myself, where you'll give up on something for a couple of weeks, couple of days, whatever it may be, but then you want to give it another go again because you know that in general this could be good for you. So you want to give it then another go. What I'm going to try and build here from especially phase one anyway, heading into phase two, is the confidence for me to say this didn't work before, and just because things are different now, like the days are different, maybe I'm different from now. You know what I mean? Who knows what I'll be like by January, February 2027 time? Um, it still just won't work. So let's not try and implement this back in, especially not now when we've built that baseline and we've built the groundwork to knowing what phase two is. And that's why phase two is going to be important there. And phase two is probably the shortest of the phases that I've got because it is only from January to July. So there is, as I say, so there's a lot of locking in there. It's going to be tough, and we're balancing that still around hopefully a full-time job. Hopefully I'm still employed by then. Hopefully I'm still employed. We're still balancing that around. We're still working on that. Um, and that's to me just kind of where my head is at on it for phase one, for phase two, and then when we head into phase three, which as you can imagine will be after the wedding. We'll talk about that in a little bit though. For phase two, it's going to be a lot of. I really shouldn't delve deep too. I shouldn't delve too much into phase two because that's far away. We're talking in August here. Phase two is far away right now. So we really shouldn't really hang on to phase two at the minute. It really should be more about phase one. It really should be more about phase one. This video. I think for me to build, because I really want to build that foundation, and maybe it's just motivation today. I could wake up tomorrow and just not upload this video, for example. Maybe that's just where I'm at the minute. Like, maybe that's just how I'm feeling at the minute. But I do need to lock in, man. I need to lock in. As much as I love spending my weekends playing the new Halo or playing video games with my friends, drinking beer, eating crap, right? It's all great. It's fun. But I gotta be serious, man. I'm 25 now. I gotta be serious. I gotta start doing something here. And getting married is a real motherfucking adult thing. Getting married is a real motherfucking adult thing, and I'm hoping that I can heading into phase two. Of course, I just hope that there is a baseline there, and as I say, we will look to make these videos monthly, and so we'll kind of see where I am at. I'll update on where things have maybe went right, things have maybe went wrong, things that I'm about to try. So like obviously we'll kind of get updates on that as well. And you know what? Maybe I should just mention then on here what I'm hoping to try, what I'm hoping to build into my routine as well. Then, so as I mentioned, I'm going to try and be walking 2 hours a week. That is currently the plan. That will of course increase in the future. That is currently the plan, however, to walk 2 hours a week. PT twice a week, and that's a lot of strength and weight training. There's a lot of that at the minute, so that's kind of where I get that in there, as well as my cardio. And as I say, I'm going to add in a half an hour to an hour of the exercise bike as well. Now, to throw on top of that, and again, this isn't all just based on exercise, this isn't all just based on how many days of exercise. This is, of course, still building to the mental health part of me, right? And to just becoming, right? For example, I see the nose strips are sweeping the nation. Is a cringe term that I want to use, but I don't know. I'm gonna give that a try. They seem to be extremely good for helping you sleep. Of course, my fiance tells me that I am a terrible snorer, so we'll give that a try. We'll give them a try. See how see if we can really implement that into a daily routine for us, like every night, just sleeping on those. Mouth tape as well. I really don't understand the science behind mouth tape. I'm not entirely sure what the goal is, because if the goal is just to breathe through your nose while you sleep, what if you get a blocked nose? These are the kind of questions that I've got for this shit. But I'm going to give some mouth tape a try. We'll see where that goes. Journaling. This is something that I've been kind of on again, off again with as well. To journal kind of what I've been doing, how I've been doing, how I'm feeling. I'm gonna really lock in on that though going forward. I'm gonna really properly hit journaling there, and that's gonna be in phase one for me, especially starting from now. That's gonna be in phase one, I think. Um, I'm just thinking about other things as well. Like now, I'm not sure if I've actually spoken about this on the pod before, but it is well, no, not on the. This is the first podcast, so of course I've not fucking talked about it in the pod before, on the channel before. Sorry, but it is going to be a growing issue here, and this will be one that we do talk about each month when it comes to these updates. My sleep pattern is horrible. It is like I, for as long as I can remember, do not have a consistent positive sleep pattern. And I know I'm not alone in that. There'll be many people watching this. There'll be many people that you know, at least, who get at best 3.5 to 4 hours a day of sleep. I'm one of those people as well. I am one of those people as well. And believe me, I've tried it all. I have absolutely tried it all. But everything is about getting to sleep. Everything, right? Magnesium, ashwagandha, um, there's another pill that the name escapes me right now. Um, Zopiclone, I believe I was on at one point as a medicine, and there's all like listening to brown noise. I think is another one as well. Listening to all these different kind of noises, and I've tried all that. I've tried all of it, and as much as they can be great to put you to sleep, you don't stay asleep, and that's the struggle that I'm finding right now, is that I'm not staying asleep. Now, with my current medication that I'm on, I am actually getting to sleep quite well. Like every night without fail, I will get to sleep. But it's staying asleep is the problem. And I think I spoke about this in my very first yapping video actually, but once I wake up at the middle of the night, like it is every night, my mind starts going 100 miles per hour. My mind starts talking about, you know, why I just start running through scenarios in my head. I start overthinking in my head. I won't dive into too much detail. This isn't a therapy podcast, right? This is about becoming. This should be a positive podcast. But so I'll kind of move on a little bit here. But sleep is certainly one thing that I am constantly looking to improve the quality of it and the length of it. Not about getting to sleep. I can get to sleep absolutely fine. I can get to sleep absolutely. Sometimes in my head it's a pillow. I'm done. But I will wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning every day. Every day I do that. I mean, you can probably tell, right? You can probably tell that this guy does not sleep very well. So yeah, I that's something I'm going to be looking to improve there. Now, sleep masks, I don't know how much they really improve the quality of your sleep. I'll try them. Again, no idea if they improve that quality though, but I will give them a try as well. A proper nighttime routine, I guess, would maybe be helpful. So I'll be giving that a try as well. Again, totally guessing here. I have no clue if that's really going to improve my sleep or not. I really don't know. Um, Reflecting is one thing I spoke about earlier, and that's not something that I do very often. I don't sit back and think, did I deserve the day, or you know, do I deserve the sun coming up tomorrow for me? Sometimes as well, right? Kind of gets a bit philosophical that way, but um, that's kind of where my head is at in terms of the reflection side of things. And did I help someone today? Did I make someone laugh today? And that's very important to me. I like making people laugh. Believe it or not, I like making people laugh. So sometimes that shit's important to me. And there's many things, many ways you can look at reflecting, and I'm definitely going to be doing that a lot more often. Meditation as well. I've been doing that each morning. I've got like a little timer. I go for about a minute. Might look to maybe extend that a little bit to even say 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Get some real proper like breathing in there as well, as much as just kind of clearing my mind a little bit. That's something I'm going to be trying not only every morning but every night now. It was every morning before, and I was kind of consistent with it, but we're going to add every night as well, and see if that can change things a little bit. Maybe it can clear my head a bit better when falling asleep, and we're not maybe waking up with again, these aren't straight answers. I don't know yet. That's why we're trialing and erroring these, right? That's why we're trialing all these. See what's going to work. See how this works. Right now, I am also hitting a cold shower for 5 minutes and then a hot shower for 10 minutes. So my showers take ages. My showers take a long time. But that is something I'm also implementing. And because obviously having a cold shower is great for your muscles, great for joints, great for recovery, great for inflammation. And then, of course, a hot shower cleans you, right? So that's of course the best for you as well there. I'm also just trying to think now if there's anything else you might be hearing that motorbike, by the way, sorry about that, but you might, there might be something else we could think of implementing here. Maybe, I guess I didn't really dive into diet at the minute. A lot of the times, I mean, for people that do live in Scotland, I don't know if this happens in other countries, it probably does, but in Scotland right now, you hit the boys Iceland, they've got My Protein meals that are just stuck in the freezer. You can put them in the microwave. They are fantastic. Calories, protein, great, right? They're fantastic, tasteful. They're great. I love them, and I'm hoping to have a lot more of them going forward. Of course, when we kind of look to implement that as well. Of course, there, and trying, of course, to have one thing I struggle with a lot when it comes to especially work. I work full time. I work about 40 to 45 hours a week, so lunches are a struggle for me. I lack the motivation to make some kind of bagel or sandwich in the morning to take with me to work to have a lunch, and I need to fix that. Like, I need to improve on that. Maybe we start looking at more fruit, for example, just something that's easy to grab to take to work. A lot of the time I take like a protein bar, protein snacks as well. They certainly get me through the day sometimes, but definitely need to build on like some proper meals to take to work for lunch. And if you guys have any suggestions on something that's quick and easy that can be stuck in a container and wait until my lunchtime, that would be great. If you could suggest something, that'd be fantastic. That's kind of where my diet's going to be looking at the minute. Very, very simple, very easy, because really what my diet is focusing on is it's not focusing on what I'm moving on to, it's focusing on what I'm removing. So I'm obviously going to look to remove all the food that I obviously enjoy. Like takeaways as well. For example, I need to be removing that straight up. Not only is it just bad for me, but financially, I mean, heck, I'm paying for a fucking wedding next year, so I do need to remove that type of shit. And yeah, a lot of the time I might enjoy a little beer, a little juice sometimes. I also enjoy water though, so I should be having more water. I need to be more disciplined that way. I just need to have more water. That shouldn't be a problem for me because I really enjoy water. I love the different tastes of water, and yes, water does taste different. I will die on that hill. Different products taste different. They always have. It's the same with water. Like you get an Evian bottle, you get a Highland Spring bottle. They taste different. They do. Anyway, that's a rant for another time. But that's kind of where diet's going to be for me, is cutting out sugary stuff and maybe cutting out alcohol entirely. I don't know. I'm going to want to drink when I get married, so maybe we change that in phase 2, especially for phase 1. I think I can't, except for my birthday, I actually can't think of anything like a major event that would require me to drink anyway, or that drinking would be the social norm. And I've never really been pressured to drink. That's not that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I've never been really pressured to do so. I never feel like I had to join in by drinking alcohol. But I don't know. We could certainly cut it down a lot. I'm having maybe 2-3 bottles of beer every weekend to enjoy myself. Could definitely cut that down. So yeah, maybe that's something we work on. And as I say, this is all trialing. We're all trialing this right up until the end of the year. We're gonna really note down and plan down what's working to head into phase 2 there. Didn't really get to talk about phase 3 as much. I guess we'll do that next time, of course, because I don't want to run too much here. We're about to hit the 30-minute mark, which I think's pretty good for our first episode. I guess what I will say is thank you for watching if you have this far. I am hoping to, as I say, have a positive update for you next time. I hope there's nothing too different for it next time. Yapping videos will still happen, of course. They will still be going ahead. Walk and talk, as I say, if it gets a good reception, that will still go ahead. And yeah, Rangers recap show will also be returning as well. That's going to be a monthly basis as well there. And if you have gotten this far, I may as well just tell you as well, kind of an exclusive here, I'm hoping to bring out another brand new series as well to start going forward. I won't reveal too much details on that yet, but I will say that it is not about me, and it does not include me. So yes, thank you all, so much for watching this one. We'll update you guys next month on this, and check out Riley Reel, who made this up herself. She made the entire idea up. Check her out, she's great. Check her out, and I hope you're all along with the journey for me going forward. Thanks now, bye bye.